less selfishness in the past than is now. I mean, now even within the family there's selfishness.
That is what I told you, no more selfish the man has become.
Yes, and if this is it, that do you think this is a self-correcting process that the human race is in trouble?
Yeah. Yeah, please. Yeah, this is the one awareness we have in the population. Also, we are doing our level best the awareness, and now compared to other things, now the capacity also has been reduced. Even in the male production of the sperms and the worm, also it has been reduced, and you can control the population. Beyond that, we are also giving good awareness to the human race that this is going. So positively, if everyone thinks in that direction, definitely you can control. There is no doubt about it. We are the highest. China, the highest populous country, but we are the highest now. 125 crores. We have already crossed that, and now this is the logical. And what are the effects of this high population? We are destroying environment, unplanned urbanization, cities, so many things. Deforest. That is there scientifically. I can give hours together log talks, but we naturally we have destroyed this globally. The human race, the man has completely now destroyed the globally. So many problems we are facing. We don't know at the end where ozone depletion. There is a ozone hole, and where the rays comes to the earth. So we don't know where it will be end up, because these rays are very strong, and it changes the normal cell into a abnormal cell, leads to cancer. So like that, we really we face a lot of problems if you won't protect your environment, your surroundings. So see, the water level has gone down. We didn't have to drink water. See, last year if you compare, rainfall is very very meager. Why? See how many mobiles are there. The rays which goes, very strong enough, and many animals are become vanishing from the environment. Many animals are not there because very strong rays goes, and this will affect the whole the system of an species, and many species are becoming extinct. So because of destruction, all those, see, in that direction the scientists thinking lot of things are there. We are giving awareness, all those things in such forum. If these things are discussed, definitely the human race will survive. Otherwise, it becomes threat to the human race. With these few words, really, I thank the organizer for giving me this opportunity. Now the time is 9:15. Okay, thank you very much.
That everybody has the same values, if whatever values you have, the other person, if we don't. Oh God, this is so interruptive. You have been so interruptive all the way, even to the speakers and to the audience. Just who said that? It's not so important. Then you just help us.
I think I understand what you were asking anyway. And it's not as much the values as the fears that we all have in common. So we talked about the fear of failure at great length, that fear that you're not good enough. The other one that we all share is actually a fear of loss. And it's kind of funny. Loss, when we ask anyone what they're most afraid of, they usually say losing people, right? Losing my loved ones, losing money, losing opportunities. But there's lots of other ways that we feel taken from, um, where our journey isn't turning out the way we wanted it to be. And I've been sitting there thinking, okay, this whole session isn't turning out the way I had in mind. And I've been laughing because I'm having a loss experience. I came to India and I had this idea of what this would be, and it's not turning out that way, right? And things like that happen all the time when people don't behave or treat us the way we wanted. We're constantly disappointed and frustrated, and that's loss. Does anyone else, does it bother you if someone butts in front of you in a line and they don't wait their turn? That bothers me. What did they just steal from you? your time. Yeah. And we get upset because we feel robbed. So that's fear of loss. And between the two, feeling taken from or mistreated and feeling like I'm not good enough or I feel insulted, those two experiences make up almost all of our angst, all of our bad behavior and our upset moments come from one of those two fears. So where this is really powerful is if somebody is treating you badly, step back from it and ask yourself, what are they afraid of? Are they afraid of being insulted or mistreated? Do they feel taken from or does that make sense? So if you understand what they're afraid of, you also understand what they need. For example, if my husband comes home from work and the house is kind of messy and he criticizes me, I immediately have fear of failure. I feel like I'm not good enough, right? And years ago, I would have gotten mad about how mean he was to me, and I would have, been offended. Now, I'm able to recognize that most of the time when he attacks me about something, it's because he had a bad day at work and he's suffering from fear of failure and maybe fear of loss. And he came home in a space where he's in fear, and love can't happen when we're in fear, you remember? So he attacked, and it's really the shame and blame thing happening. So when he criticizes me, instead of being offended, I turn to him and say, "Are you okay? What happened today?" Because really, this is about him and his fear. It's not about us. Almost all bad behavior is not about us. It's about fear of failure. And, even the leaders of the groups trying to hurry everything along. Well, that's her job. They've told her she needs to do a good job and do it this way. And so she's probably afraid of failing. And I'm afraid, okay, my session didn't become about the topic that I wanted it to be. But what the answer to fear of loss, I taught you the answer to fear of failure is that we choose to see all human beings as having the same value, and our value never changes. And the more we do that, we get past fear of failure. So when they criticize us, we say, didn't affect my value. The answer to fear of loss is, are you going to trust the journey in life? Because I believe that God has created this universe for us to be our classroom to help us learn. And everything that happens to you, you could choose to see it as your perfect lesson. And if you trust the universe that it only brings perfect lessons, that it's literally conspiring to educate you all the time. So I was sitting there today and I thought, okay, this didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but what could I learn? What is this experience here to teach me? And if I focus on seeing the lesson in every moment, I don't have the loss because I see it as perfect. Does that make sense? Now, just so you know, because we have a lot of mothers, no one triggers your two core fears better than your children. Because if your children, yes, we have a child right here, when she misbehaves, it makes me afraid I'm failing as a parent. I'm also going to look bad, right? So all that fear I'm not good enough gets triggered. And I'm also afraid of losing my children. I'm afraid they'll make bad choices and I could lose them. So everything they do makes me in fear. And if I parent from fear, it's going to be all about me and not what my child needs, right? And so I've taught my children, if you misbehave and I yell and I'm upset, just recognize I'm just scared and just say, "Mommy, just so you know, my bad behavior is not a reflection on your parenting. You're a wonderful parent. It's all on me. And I'm learning from this, and I'm going to be smarter moving forward so you won't lose me." And if you reassure and validate and quiet a person's fear, they all of a sudden become a lot easier to deal with. Does that make sense? Yes. Yeah.
How can you help children manage and understand this? And especially, as you said in the beginning, children, when they have fear, they make it show with their aggressiveness or something like being yelling or whatever, but that shows that they have something that is not going right, and they have fear of others. And for us adults, we understand this with time, but for them, is there a way that we can like help them go beyond this fear and have the right message to post to go over all these?
So we're tempted in moments when our children are having fear and they are upset to want to make that the teaching moment. But often they're upset that they need to vent and talk about how they feel. They don't need us to fix it right then. If you really want to help your children have confidence and be able to handle things in life and feel good, you have to make all the teaching moments all the other moments in the day. And you have to keep teaching the principle that makes the fear not accurate. So, all day, every day, I'm reminding my children that all human beings have the same intrinsic worth. And everywhere we go, we'll see people, and my daughter will say, "Look at that lady, she's so fat." And that's the moment, right, that I get to say, we all have different genes and different families and different struggles, honey, but remember, we all have the same value. Someone who's fat isn't more valuable than someone who's thin, right? We have the same value. We have to start teaching it as a principle of truth all the time, every moment of every day. And that's what it becomes a part of who we are and how we just see the world. But we can't just do it in those moments. We have to do it all the time. Does that make sense? And yeah, okay. We're done. Thank you. If anybody does want any more information about what I teach, come and talk to me, okay?
Yeah, but we have about yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Thank you for your valuable time.